Welcome to Life with Strings Attached. I'm your host, Jamie Gale. For this week's special biography edition of Life with Strings Attached, we're on location in Portugal's Algarve region to dive into the remarkable story of Adriano Sergio, an artist, musician, and luthier whose life journey is inspiring as the guitars that he creates. From his early days as a political refugee to military service in Portugal's elite forces, Adriano's path has been shaped by resilience, community, and a relentless pursuit of authenticity. In this special biography episode, Adriano reflects on a childhood steeped in art and music, the life lessons learned through hardship and teamwork, and the transition from performer to renowned builder of custom guitars. His story is a powerful reminder that personal growth, creativity, and collaboration can transform even the most challenging circumstances into something truly beautiful. It was an honor to share this time with Adriano. I hope that you enjoy it as much as I did.
I was born 24 December 66 in Sintra, so close to Lisbon. My father was a political refugee, so he actually had to leave the country before I was born. He went to France because we are under a dictator. Actually, it's going to be 25th April, 50 years. We are a democracy. Till there, we are dictator. So my father was actually studying night shifts, like basic school. And for some reason, someone says they will have meetings against the regime. And my father was told somebody complained that, which, as according to what he told me, that's not true. They were against the regime, like all the country was, because we were a starving country, a poor country. And so my father has to leave the country and went to Paris as an immigrant, political refugee. So he was working. And then the immigration the immigration in France was closed after I was born. So my father came back to Portugal to get me and my mother. I was 1.5 years old. And I actually have that memory. I have the memory of stop sleeping that night with my mother and sleeping alone. I do have that. And I tell things to my parents, memories, and they still like, "Wow, you remember that?" Because they know they didn't tell me. I'm talking about details now. People don't talk about them. Anyway, so with 3.5 years old, my father came back to Portugal to get me and my mother to France. Immigration was closed. My father, as paperwork, political refugee immigrant in Paris, in France. So I remember getting the train with my mother. I had shorts and boots, brown boots. But I couldn't be with my father because if he got caught, my father will lose all the paperwork and deport to Portugal. And we got caught. And I was hid under the seat, the train seat. We got put out of the train in Spain. And we stay like in a place with bunks full of people, full of people. So I didn't know. I don't have a memory of what's going on here. I just knew I couldn't say, I know that guy, my father, and I was with my mother. Then my father crossed the border, found a taxi driver, give him his watch. So we could cross the border, walking, and find a woman with a kid looking like that, with those clothes. And show the watch to my mother. So my mother knew that was my father's watch. So I remember my mother wake me up and tell me, shh. So, no, we walk the border illegally. My mother, she's short, still alive. And I remember the bulls in Spain, and be scared because that was overnight. And tell my mother, I'm tired. I'm tired. My mother, you see that hill? I will carry you after that. No, of course.
Yeah.
So we end up. So I don't remember to see my father after that, but I remember we made it, and we start to live together. We live in hotel rooms. We went. It's a big drama, but it's fine. We end up to have our own apartment in Paris, next to the Louvre, which is the Japanese neighborhood now, Rue Villedot, Paris Premier. So I speak French, school, things like that. I think all that episode, all that fighting for life, for reality, shaped me in a way I will be a totally different person. The way I feel things, the way I fight for things, for relationship, for people, for things I believe they are right. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe they are right. So that fight, that surviving instinct, will not be here if that didn't happen. What's the relationship between that and working with wood and guitars?
Well, take us a little further in your journey. You're 3.5 years old. Take us a little further with your biography, and we'll get to the guitar part.
Yeah, but that starts here actually.
Yeah.
With 6 years old, 5 to 6 years old, my parents asked me what I would like to have for Christmas, and I asked a guitar. First there was an accordion, next year was a guitar, and they gave me a guitar. I had no idea what to deal with that, about tuning.
Yeah.
They didn't put any schools, nothing like that. But because I was in the Louvre and I was in the public school in Paris, we had a lot of visits to the Louvre, a lot. So that relation with art, because my parents, they are working class family. They know about art, but it's not something that's appealing for them. They understand it and they respect that, and especially at that time, they were like fighting for life. But so I was introduced to something which I probably, if I'd stayed in Portugal, I was not also introduced to that. The relation between persons and art. I was living next to Louvre, Opera, Palais Royal, and the neighbors. We're talking. We were like in a very privileged neighborhood, so I had access to a lot of things which people from my class, working class, will not have. That it was not that common. So okay, my father gave me a guitar and gave me a set of tools. And my father always did things at home, everything, working with wood, working with metal, whatever. I start to work with wood, with that tools, and the guitar is like that thing. Like, what I'm gonna do with that? I don't even know what's that. What tuning? What to put the fingers? No schools, no nothing. So I was actually introduced to the guitar world, the woodworking, the art, around 5 to 6 years old. Then come to Portugal. Then I choose what to study, and art design was my choice. I studied that. I was in school, high school and things like that. And music was always side by side. So I started to study music, classical guitar, when I was 12, along with chess playing, the same school actually. And then the jazz happened later on the 80s, late 80s, after, the Navy SEAL, the scuba diving, all of that.
We don't know what all that is.
There we go.
Yeah. You're telling a story for the first time.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
So, growing up in Paris, you were introduced to art, design. You decided to go to design school and art school, and
That's already in
playing
Portugal.
guitar.
That's already in Portugal, yes.
Yeah.
Because my parents stay there. I came back to Portugal around 12,
Okay.
and we stay apart like 3 or 4 years. I was with my aunt and my cousin. So my parents came back to Portugal And then I started to study art and design and play music. And
The Lisbon area?
Sintra, Lisbon
Sintra,
area,
yeah,
Sintra.
yeah.
Yes, always there. And I was in Sintra until I was 24.
Mhm.
After the Navy, which I will go after that. So yeah, music. I would before I was studying classical guitar.
Mhm.
12 years old kid, just like I was doing that. I was doing ballet
Mhm.
also. I did 1.5 year of ballet. I was like no, an elephant jumping on the maneuvers. That's always my teacher told me you look like an elephant jumping over maneuvers. Maneuvers, right? The those plants who grows on lakes, like big leaves.
Lily pad, like we call the one with the frogs on it.
Yeah, the big one.
I say lily pad in
Okay.
English, but yeah.
She said like
Loofers,
you
yes.
look like an elephant. uh, so yeah, and I started to have my own band, playing like covers and originals as teenager. Then the Navy came, so I had to go to, uh, to the military service in Portugal.
So was it mandatory?
It was mandatory.
Yeah.
Yes, I tried to fail.
Mhm.
All the tests and get 2 hours late.
Like every self-respecting musician. Mhm.
2 hours late, drunk, literally. And I was not a drinker. I was trying, but then my ego was so it was so big. Like I want to fail, but no, I cannot fail that. That's like that thing. And so I was choose between they select nine people. Oh, sorry, the microphone. Which there were select nine per people along, between 60 something or 70 people, and they sent everybody home. And I said, okay, now we want to interview, you guys, you nine, and now we had interviews with the like, kind of rangers things. It's not rangers in Portuguese, commandos, Air Force, like parachutes, and Marines. So then they told me, that's only for voluntaries, but you have to choose one. And I said, no, I don't want to choose anything because time-wise, it was just a year, the minimum. And I said, I want to spend the last time, the smallest time as possible here. And they told me, okay, if you don't want, you go to the commando stuff, like it was like meat for, grind meat for canyons, basically. And I said, that's okay. But then I didn't complain. I said, no, look, I don't want to go. It's like, in the end, they select me for the Navy. So I had to do that. And then from the Navy, I need to choose a course. No, you can choose different things. So I choose scuba diver Navy SEAL. I was the worst of the class. And we applied 127. And I finished the course. I was the number 8. We've only finished 11. And then, I did all the training, like the jumping from parachutes and all the Navy SEAL stuff, which is Portugal is not really Navy SEAL, it's another name. And I did a lot of civil work also, rescuing bodies and things like that. And it was nice. I think the Navy stuff was nice. I didn't have no relations with guns and fighting, things like that. It was something I actually I used to scuba dive before, snorkeling before, and I really enjoy it. And I enjoyed the companion, the team working. I learned and I lived there was really, really important because I remember people want to quit, like because it was painful. It was like physically, like was really, really hard. And I want to quit, or somebody want to quit, and say, "No, you don't quit." And we help each other, and we just boost each other, even if we were competing with each other. And that's life. That's what we do in life.
Mm-hmm.
But you only achieve the goal if you are working as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Alone, you go alone, you get alone, and you are alone. That's doesn't get you anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lesson I got. And I think life is like that. And I believe I live like that. I still believe team working. It's the only way. We are too weak to be alone, even if we think we are the strongest in the world, because A, B, C, or D, whatever. And that's
Cedar Creek Custom Case Shop is your premier fretted instrument custom case maker, and we invite you to create a musical instrument case unlike any other, one that's unique to you. Every Cedar Creek custom case is hand-built by highly skilled craftspeople using only select woods, Providence Forge hardware, and premium instrument-friendly materials. At Cedar Creek Custom Case Shop, we are dedicated to helping you design the case of your dreams. Find out more at cedarcreekcases.com. Are you serious about the business of guitar? Then you need to join us on Patreon. We're building a future where guitar makers are able to live prosperous lives making instruments that inspire the musical experience, which helps to create a more beautiful world. Where others who are passionate about the guitar can thrive, those who help in the promotion and resale, trade shows, writing of books and articles are supported as a valuable part of the community. A community where we explore with curiosity and encourage those around us in their endeavors. With a community effort, we can accomplish far more than we can individually. So let's be serious about your guitar business and join us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Jamie Gale Music. We are better together, so let's do this together. I love where we've been, and I'm excited about where we're going. This space is normally reserved for brands who make stories like this possible, like the Dario and the Cedar Creek Custom Case Shop. If your company belongs in this conversation, let's talk. We partner with brands who value craft, culture, and the quiet power of a well-placed idea.
Okay, then scuba diving. I love scuba dive. I love the silence of scuba diving, the freedom, the respect, the awareness of your limitations, and the respect for yourself to be in the different environment and enjoy that and get that as something who feeds you as a human being. Also, I'm a social person, but I like to be alone. No, I need to be alone. I need to see from outside, myself including, look at myself outside of myself and be in a different environment, be surrounded by silence and by awareness of your limitations helps me to look at me from outside and look at the world. I look at the things I think, the conclusions I take sometimes. Well, that's it so far. We're talking about 80, 90, early 90s. And then I start to study jazz. Yes. Straight after the Navy, I was already playing, and I decided that's not enough. I need to know more. And I went to apply to the jazz school in Portugal, Odd Club, which still it's one of the oldest school and jazz clubs in Europe. And it was at the time, I think it was probably the only one in Portugal. I applied, I did a course, bass, and I finished the course. I wasn't too good, but I really enjoyed the music I play. I did the records in Portugal. It's funny, 2-3 years ago, I was with Claudio Pageli and Claudia, and their daughter had an app, like, let's see which music, was famous in that year. And I didn't know that about the app, so we were together, and he said, "Oh, let's see in Portugal in '98 who was famous, was on top of the the charts."
Yeah.
And he started to play. I didn't say anything. He's like, "Yeah, that's me." That's me. Like, no, wait, that's me.
That's me.
And let's see another band. Let's go try it. '98, another band. It was another band playing. And so, that's me. That's me playing here. So yeah, I was playing.
Yeah.
I was playing. I was curious about the instrument. Of course, by the way, when I started to play, I built my first body on my bass because I had no money.
Mhm.
Somebody gave me a neck, which I still have, a Fender 74
Mhm.
jazz bass. I did the body without knowing anything.
Mhm.
I built my first amp without knowing anything.
Mhm.
No internet. I heard about some courses, online books, and things like that.
Yeah.
And I did that, and they sent me all the parts. Then I use it to play, and my first gig, which I make money, was I was 15, I believe,
Mhm.
playing covers, like weddings or whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
And I always have my original bands, make my own songs or working with people, just building, making our own song, our own music. So I'm jumping here and there. So I make my first bass without knowing anything, my first amp. And then it was the need. I had no money,
Mhm.
uh, and I need something, so I need to make it happen. So that was that. Um, and then like the stories about first drums, the first drumsticks, the first microphones. We did rifles at school to get money, to buy things, to make a band.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knock at the door of people, like just like asking, like, do you want to, do a rifle because the store gave us like a grinder or something,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
from the shops, and we just did
Buy a ticket to
rifles.
win, and you. Yeah.
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 So that's that was yeah. Yep, I still have a microphone from that time, my Audio Technica, something
Yeah.
like that. And the drum, same thing. We found out we've managed to buy like a really old battle drum with those skins, nothing.
Mhm. Mhm.
I went to the butcher, not the butcher, the slaughterhouse, where
Slaughterhouse. Yeah. Yeah.
to get bladders
Okay.
from goats to make the drum heads,
You dried them and made
to
them yourself.
dry them. Yeah, and they work in the summer, but then the winter is like,
So
well,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
no, so no, that doesn't work. We need to buy drum heads,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went through that. It's funny. It's nice. And see kids, I'm not just telling you a story. I'm just watching a story,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like, man, that's quite cool. You see kids, like
Yeah.
14, 13.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like, oh, daddy, I want that, and I'm glad, parents
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
but it's just fighting for things, make things happen,
Yeah.
making things.
Mhm.
And now I'm making guitars, making guitars. I'm making friends with the guitars. I met people
Mhm.
which I never will met them
Mhm.
if I don't do what I do.
Mhm.
And I don't know if should I keep
Yeah.
going?
So you went to school. You learned. You were playing. You were doing things in '98. Now, so you made some of your own instruments. I mean, I also know that at a certain point in time you started repairing instruments. You also started teching for other musicians. So where does that come into the
Yeah.
narrative? Surely that has to be a part of who you are today. I would
Yes.
think.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I was a professional musician in Portugal.
Yeah.
Uh, and I was playing music I like,
Mhm.
but I wasn't making money enough to live with that music I like. Even if we were like playing all the big festivals, like selling records, but the kind of music we're talking about, a country with 11 million people.
Mhm.
Maybe a third of it actually spend money buying music.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm just speculating the
Mhm.
numbers, but I was making money playing music I didn't like. So I was playing like with the artists,
Mhm.
even playing, all sort of Portugal, Canada,
Mhm.
South America, Australia, like on the Portuguese communities
Mhm. Mhm.
with music. Actually, I didn't like at all. Actually, I hate it. I know I was against it,
Mhm.
but I was making money with that. So, but just reach a point I couldn't live with that. Every time I grab the bass, it's because I didn't like it anymore.
Mhm.
It was painful, and I was actually seriously. I think I was quite bad when I was playing the things I didn't like, and people still pay me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad today there's the level in Portugal, the musician levels just grow a lot, and there's a lot of good musicians, and there's space for everything. There's people who play the music I didn't like, and they like to do that, and they are good. But I don't think I was good, but I was making money. So I decided, no, I'm gonna play only music I like, and I need to find a way, to pay the bills, because when I was living alone, and I decided to do to be tech, and I bought a flashlight, was a mag light, tiny one. I bought a few tools, and I asked. There was a punk band in Portugal, with a good friend of mine actually, and I asked like, "Hey, can I tag for you for free? Because I want to know how I feel tagging. Because people knew me as a musician, and the guy said, "But man, you are a musician. You're gonna tag." No, I was like, I need to know the feeling. I need to know if I have, if my ego is ready for that. And I did that, and I brought my wireless. I brought everything. I lent them everything, and in the end, they actually pay me like 25 euros or something like that. And I felt, okay, I can feel my ego is like pinched, but I think I can deal with that. So, I knew about, the instruments, how to set up the instruments, or, the gear. I was much higher than the average in Portugal. I know I have my friends there. Oh, Adriano is the cocky guy. Yes, I am. It's fine. It's the reality. It's the name. And no, they know that. They respect me that because I think I pushed the level in Portugal because I decided to be. I didn't want to be a roadie. Like everybody says, a roadie. A roadie is the guy who works on the road. I said I want to be a guitar tech. I want to be. Even if I have to, I could set drums, keyboards, but I want to be a guitar tech. And I started to do that in Portugal. And one day I got a call to tech for Moonspell, which is like a metal band from Portugal, like Gothic, which I heard about them. I actually went to see one of their gigs. I didn't like the music at all, but I respect what they achieved. And I did the gig. There was a bunch of problems with the amps and everything. And I just said, like, okay, give me 5 minutes, I will let you know. And the 5 minutes, yes, the amps were full apart, well ready to go. And the guy, the German guy, Pete Bender, said, like, you have to take that guy. And they took me. They asked me if I wanted to go on tour. I was the first Portuguese guy be on the tour bus on tour, be hired to be on tour. 46 days, 46 gigs. No days off. All over Europe. And I was so excited. I was like, wow, never saw a tour bus before. Just, just in magazines. And I did that. It was Moonspell and Creator, I think. Still out, Creator and Moonspell also. Moonspell ended up to ask me if I wanted to play with them. And I said, no, man, no, I'm fine. You don't want me. Like I'm gonna be in trouble. I keep being attacked. It's fine. Find somebody else. And they found it, and it's still with them until today. Because I had the experience like, okay, it's fine. I'm gonna be be on tour, but I don't feel the music. It's not. No, I have something else. I want to do something else. And so yeah. Then 1 year after, exactly 1 year, pretty much, I was playing in a festival with Bill as well. I don't know if you heard about it. It's a bass player. People know it. It's a big name. It calls a festival music, world music thing. And somebody called me like, Adriano, you want to go on tour? Just before going on stage. He said, yeah. When? Tomorrow. Tomorrow where? In Porto. We are in France. We just fired the guitar tech. We're gonna play tomorrow in Porto. And I didn't tell anybody. I did the gig, and after the gig, I told my wife at the time. She drove me to Porto. I went, started tour again, and since then was a snowball. I told my colleagues, people which they've been on tour for 10 years, even more. I told them I want to be on the top. I want to work with the best, the top of the chain. And they told me, no, that's impossible. It's just for a small number of people. It's just, and I remember my head's like, no, if I cannot follow your example because, we are on the same place. And that's my second year, or my second time. It's not even a year, it's second time. And you've been here for 10 years or more. I'm a very passionate person. And I was always like, always happy, always fighting, always try to make the things better. Never doing what the musician says he wants it. Always try to understand what he actually needs it and find a way to deliver that to him without telling him before, just after. And man, and I was working a lot, talking 10 months a year, 11 months 1 year. And I'll be on tour for 2 months, go home for 3 days, phone call again, and you go there. And US, I was actually, money-wise, it was terrible. But I want to show my work. I think my goal was to show my work. And I did it. I did show my work, and suddenly, I was working with Ozzy, Ronnie James Dio, Anthrax a lot, Typo, a lot of bands. And then again, I wasn't happy. I was making money, but I wasn't happy. Then I thought, also when I start touring, I thought, if something goes wrong, if I'm not good enough, I need to have a backup. So when I was in Portugal, in Lisbon, I was start to do some repairing. And people, start to see my work. I have a good friend who actually invited me to do a workshop also. He has a backline company. And I start to do that. And then I start to have customers. And then I was like, okay, but now I'm going on tour. And the customers, they will be with no one. And it's going to be tough for them to go back where they were, because maybe the other guy will tell them, you know what? You went to Adriano, I'll stay with Adriano. So I start to form people, teaching people, teaching, and to make a team, so I can be, relaxed. If I go on tour, my customers will be, there, Then teach 1, 2, start to do courses. Then I was touring a lot and stopped a lot in UK, in London, and I opened another guitar workshop, repair shop in London. And the reason, because in London they start to tell me like, we're gonna send guitars to Lisbon to repair. It's like, that's nuts. There's a lot of people here working, good ones. No, but we want you. And I said, okay, that's fine. Just, collect the guitars. When you have like 5, 10, let me know. And then between the touring and I stop here, I have a place to stay, get me a workshop. I start to get involved with an association called Music for Children. It's a charity association, which they built 1 orphanage in Nepal already. And they own the highest gig in the world, the lowest, the deepest, and they are on the Guinness Book. And all that money is for that charity thing. And they told me, you need a space. And I came here. There was a bar, White Lion, and they had like workshop places in the back, and there was an old toilet, no roof, full of pigeons and garbage. And like, is that good enough? Talking about a place like that, we know with the urinals and all the things. And I said, you know what? If it's clean with a glass roof and everything. And man, I came back to Portugal 4 days after. I got a photo like, is that good enough for you?
Yes.
All clean, roof, a lot of people helping, working. And so I had the guitar rehab in London. Actually, the name happens in London, even if Lisbon already was existing. But I was working with a band called LWSA. They did a generic for The Sopranos. Woke up this morning, I got myself a gun, if you know. And they had a song called Rehab, and I was looking for a name, and so Guitar Rehab just show up there. And I'm a bit lost now, but and then customers. The customer in Lisbon, he wants a custom guitar, and I told him for the kind of sound you want, I believe the Black Machine guy, which I didn't know him, but I know his work, could be a good tool for you. I put them in touch, but then he didn't like to talk with him, and he told me like, "Oh, I want you to make the guitar," and I said, "That's okay. I don't know how long that's gonna take because I'm notoriously busy." And it took me 4 years until they delivered the guitar. I asked 600 euros in advance just to design the guitar. Remember that. And I did some drawings, which I have it here. Even today, when I see like, how the hell you accept that? So I did a mock-up with a art foam, and he liked it.
Cedar Creek Custom Case Shop is your premier fretted instrument custom case maker, and we invite you to create a musical instrument case unlike any other, one that's unique to you. Every Cedar Creek custom case is hand-built by highly skilled craftspeople using only select woods, Providence Forge hardware, and premium instrument-friendly materials. At Cedar Creek Custom Case Shop, we are dedicated to helping you design the case of your dreams. Find out more at cedarcreekcases.com. Are you serious about the business of guitar? Then you need to join us on Patreon. We're building a future where guitar makers are able to live prosperous lives making instruments that inspire the musical experience, which helps to create a more beautiful world. Where others who are passionate about the guitar can thrive, those who help in the promotion and resale, trade shows, writing of books and articles are supported as a valuable part of the community. A community where we explore with curiosity and encourage those around us in their endeavors. With a community effort, we can accomplish far more than we can individually. So let's be serious about your guitar business and join us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Jamie Gale Music. We are better together, so let's do this together. I love where we've been, and I'm excited about where we're going. This space is normally reserved for brands who make stories like this possible, like the Dario and the Cedar Creek Custom Case Shop. If your company belongs in this conversation, let's talk. We partner with brands who value craft, culture, and the quiet power of a well-placed idea.
And then I got invited for a luthier dinner in Lisbon, which happened every year. And I went there, and everybody was saying, "Oh, this Andy Manson is here. Andy Manson is here." And I was like, "Who the hell is Andy Manson?" Well, I had no idea. No idea. End up to spend all night with Andy talking outside. Just we get along really well. And we spent like literally all night long. We spend more time outside smoking cigarettes and talking than inside with the dinner and things like that. And I show him my the drawings I have and the mock-up I had. Like, oh, I'm gonna make guitars. No, I made necks, I made bodies, I did like hundreds of thousands of refrettings, or I knew I could do it, and I knew I want to do something which I never saw before. The reason I decided to make guitars was, I believe it was 3 of them. I want to make guitars which I never saw them before. I want to make them by hand, like full by hand. So no copies, by hand, and not easy to copy. That was my thing. And when I had that in mind, I felt myself ready. So I showed that to Andy. And he said, "Okay, it's fine, cool. It's okay, yeah, go for it. My son-in-law makes guitars, set Bacchus guitars. Guys should get along." Later, Andy told me, "Man, when you show me that, I told to Seth, good luck with that." Like, that goes nowhere. Good luck with that. So, but I finished that the first guitar, and I drove to Andy's. and show him. And then he told me, that's not my thing, but there's something. And then he also told me, like, that's a good fret work. How you do that? And I was like, it's better than mine or something like that. I was like full of myself. I was like, it's cool. I know it's cool, but it's my first guitar,
Yeah.
Then I did the second one. I showed it to him. And then Andy told me, like, man, you should go to Holy Grail. And I said, like, Holy Grail. Well, just make 3 guitars. That's fine, man. You should go there. So that was 2015. No, 2014. I was on tour. I had a break between. I had a break when the Holy Grail was happening. I booked my flight there. Hotel room at the convention center. What's the where the Holy Grail was. I had to buy shoes and pants because I was wearing just touring stuff, and I couldn't find my size, so I like pants like that. Couldn't recognize myself. Seriously, man. Like, I remember to see myself in the mirror. It's like, that's not me. But that's what I could find. Then I saw people's work. So my thing was like, I would like to see, what I feel looking at other people's work. And I knew Claudius, Parker's, Andy already knew, Wooly, Nick, and you mentioned. But I want to see it. And I was feeling quite uncomfortable. It was the first time I actually went to a guitar show. I've been at NAMM before. Um, and I saw the work. Parker was nice. It was showing me, just play. Like, oh, no. Claudio, same thing. Oh, you can play it. I don't know. Just look at it. I feel like, I told Claudio, I feel like a spy because, I'm planning to apply for the next year, and I just want to see, if I fit here, if I'm good enough. And Claudio, he doesn't remember that, but because I told him, Claudio, that before. It's like, oh, see you next year. I can feel the bug, or I can see the bug, or something like that. And then I apply. And I got. I was accepted. I was actually on the Russian embassy to get visas to go on tour in Russia, not on Moscow, St. Petersburg, but I went to, all the the train goes. So I was there getting the visas, and I got, yes. I was shouting, crying on the car. I was calling everybody. I was accepted. And that just was a snowball, I have my 3rd guitar here, and the 4th one, which actually you saw. And it's nice. I can look at my guitars, that one and that one, what I'm doing now. It's different, but I think you can still see the same guy. It's the same person who made them.
Yeah.
And for me, really important thing, it's the sound, the comfort. Try to bring something. I think I'm much more mature now. I think I'm more simple and probably more refined on details, and more focused on the sound, because lately I have more professional musicians. They actually found my instruments, and they actually see them as a tool and try them, and they hear something which they don't hear it on not other instruments. And that was always my goal, and it's why I go more and more acoustic and more simple. And because I like the idea, and I like to believe what I'm discovering could be a helpful inspiration tool for music. Music, it's a big, big, has a big, it's very important in my life. even working. I like to have music all the time. Now I'm sharing with Michael, so I have my headphones when he's here. But if I don't hear music, I don't dance. If I don't dance, I don't work. It's, I love to dance. I love to work. I love to, music helped me to don't think on things which don't belong to the work. We all have problems. We all have, and if I don't have music, I'm working, I'm thinking about all those problems or, things which are not related with what I'm doing. And music helped me to just dance and don't think about nothing else. And so I want to make tools for musicians to don't think when they are playing, because you cannot play and think at the same time. That's impossible. You can make notes, you can play notes, but you cannot play music, make music when you think. You can think before, you can think after, but not during. So, and I think I'm achieving a good point. That's this last NAMM. I think it was the first time I had a quite big volume of people, professional musicians, or good musicians, but professional. There was a few of them, like quite a few actually, which you could hear. You could hear them playing with the silence, playing with the instruments. Like, hold on, I need to play these notes the same way I play. I need to play with that instrument. So yeah, basically it's that. I'm trying stuff. I'm trying stuff a lot. Try to be humble. Try to be proud. Try to respect myself and respect life, of course. All that war situations, all the economical crisis and things like that is affecting everybody. Is affecting me, not only on my work, but in my head also. And that reflects on my work. But I try to don't compromise myself. I try to think as less as possible to bring out what it's already there. I don't feel like I make things, by the way. I don't feel like I make the guitars. I feel I'm just like a
Conduit.
a vehicle.
Yeah.
It's there. And it's why I said I don't like to think that much. When I think too much, I have to stop and do something else. Because when you think too much, when I think, I'm talking about myself. People are different. That's my relation with my work. It's not thinking too much. It's appreciate how lucky I am to doing what I'm doing and like it. If I think all my life, I need to appreciate that, man. It's like I have a rich life. I'm lucky to met the people I met. I'm lucky, to be to be loved by people and love people, and I love my work, and I love the idea to be humble enough to don't think I own it. It's not mine. It's done now. I look at my instruments. It's like most part of the time I don't know how I thought about that, how I decide to stop there, or why I decide to not stop and keep going, or to take risks, or to. I don't own that. I know I did it. I know it was me, but I don't feel like I'm so well. I'm just so lucky, and I know nothing. More I know, less I know.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
that's a lot
Thank you for
talking.
sharing your story.
No, thank you for listening.
You talked about a lot of deep emotion and struggle, but you know that when we're traveling with your instruments and someone asks Roberta about your guitar, her first response is, "Oh, Adriano has the best smile."
Okay. I like her smile too.
She does. My wife has such a fantastic laugh that my entire family, Roberta, Maddie, Zach, and I, if we're watching a comedy and Roberta's laughing, none of us are interested in the movie. We all turn and watch her because there's just so much authentic joy and beauty in that
I like her
laughter.
she's
You know?
yeah.
And so, I just, that humanity, that authenticity, it's inseparable from what you do.
Thank you.
It's there.
Thank
and
you.
so I wanted to let you know that
Thank you.
actually we don't talk about your guitars without talking about you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And that, that means something.
No, they help me to be what I am, and I try to help them to be the best as they can.
Yeah.
You've been listening to Life with Strings Attached. If today's conversation meant something to you, consider passing it on. These stories find their place through the people who share them. A new episode comes out every Friday, right here, wherever you're listening. I'm Jamie Gale, and thanks for listening to Life with Strings Attached.